This is the LowcoSports Lowdown podcast. Here are your hosts, Justin Jarrett and Wes Kerr.
Hey, Loco sports fans, welcome to another bonus edition of the Lowdown, because we're just calling everything Lowdown right now because it's a mishmash of all kinds of different things happening at this time of year as we cross over from winter sports into spring, and the schedule's just a little different with the basketball and the wrestling than it would during the regular season. So we're calling it a Lowdown tonight because we're going to talk wrestling in a little bit with Coach John Rutherford from Battery Creek. He's got 3 wrestlers in the finals. They took 4. I got 3 in the final, so good stuff up there in Anderson. We'll talk with him a little bit more about all the Lowco guys and girls up there. We will talk a little about Cross. We should have some friends from Cross coming on later. State champs in SCISA 1A girls in their first year of varsity basketball. Pulled it out today against Curtis Baptist, so we'll talk with them a little later. And then Marcus Walsh wanted to jump on with us from WHHI at the end of the show, and look ahead to tomorrow when we have 2 more state championship games in addition. One of them in the Cove after we have a USCB doubleheader for their regular season home finale. So big day ahead in the Loco, and a big day today as well. You were out at USCB baseball tonight as well. So I was out at lacrosse for a little bit. Man, it's a busy time.
Yeah, a lot going on this time of year, but so much action to cover, and makes it so much fun to see how everything unfolds, because I'm getting, I'm checking Twitter, I'm checking my texts, I'm checking Facebook for scores and updates, and it's a fun time, especially when we have so many teams still in it in winter sports and competing for state championships in basketball and wrestling. And what a fantastic achievement for this Cross girls team first program. They got a really hard fought 47-43 win over Curtis Baptist, so cannot be more proud of that group and that coaching staff, and excited to potentially get them on to talk to them about tonight. But man, just so proud of that entire program, and that's something you don't see very often. The first year team winning it all.
Yeah, very cool story. They had to rally to do it. PJ Benson came up huge in the fourth quarter. She had 11 in the fourth quarter. Really got them on track. Just kind of took over, and they were able to pull it out. It was a tough game. It was a solid, scrappy game. Both teams were a little edgy early, I think, but we'll talk about that a little more later when we get some guests in here. But let's talk some wrestling, because we got Coach Rutherford waiting. He's got another big day ahead tomorrow. He gets to coach 3 in the state finals. Coach, what's going on, buddy? Welcome from Anderson. Great day for the Dolphins, and great stash too.
Yeah, it's the I Believe stash. It's the Ted Lasso motto. So we're having some fun, man. It's we had 3. I mean, all 4 wrestled very well. Don't want to take anything away from Legree, but the 3 guys, Elmer and Gunner, are back-to-back state finals. And Leroy Tyus went from not qualifying to fighting his way into the state finals. And they'll all have tough matchups, but it's exciting because, like any other sport, you get to the final and it's a new game.
Adrenaline rush.
Well, knowing you have a medal guaranteed when you go to bed tonight, like that's a good feeling.
That's huge.
Yeah.
Not many guys get that.
Yeah, it's awesome. I mean, it's
froze up for a second there. You back? We lost you for a sec. You're muted now. Uh-oh. We lost Rutherford. He'll be right back, I'm sure. But Houston Rudisill was the only finalist from May River and the only Lowco finalist in 4A. Everybody else, we had a number make it to the semis, but then lose. But Rudisill got through. He's a freshman. He's got a chance to be a 4-timer. He'll have a tough match in the finals, of course, because it's state finals. But he pinned his way through the first 2 rounds. As Rutherford jumping back in. Not sure what happened there, Coach, but I was just running down. Houston Rudisill from May River made the finals. Your 3 guys, Elmer Linares, Gunnar DeGroat, and Leroy Tyus, and then Jada Lawrence from the Bluffton girls, defending state champ. Those are the only ones who made it through to the finals. We had a bunch that won 1 and lost 1, including Legree. So they're right there. They just got to win 1 to get into the medals. But man, there's nothing like going to bed on Friday night knowing you got at least a silver medal in your pocket when you leave.
Yeah, that was kind of the goal today. Is we kind of told the kids, like, as you walk in, it's 6 minutes for a medal, and now tomorrow the focus obviously is 6 minutes to get the gold. But especially with the guys, it's new for some, it's old for some. You get into that atmosphere, it's loud, it's crazy, it's 3,000 people, and it's hard. of course, it's like every time you're about to wrestle, the match before you goes all the way to overtime.
Yeah.
You know, and
and then there's a dispute, and they have to stand around for 2 minutes and talk it over.
Yeah, and you know, and love talking to George Dixon because he says the same thing. You know, you get in there and you're like, man, every time you think, all right, let's get a guy pinned quick, it goes into overtime. And it's every guy is every fight, every girl. It's been awesome to see the girls too, but everyone's got their heart on it. You know, there's not one person that's just out there having fun. It's
right.
They're all on a mission, and it's cool. I mean, the camaraderie this year is nothing like I've ever seen. I mean, we got kids warming up with other teams. You've got parents talking to other parents. And that's the one thing I loved about the sport is that it really is a family
atmosphere. Everybody's rooting for each other.
Oh, absolutely. Well, and you get those rivalries where you know, you've had a big fight with one team. So now you're rooting for this other guy who you don't even know just because, you know, we had in the first round, we wrestled West Oak twice.
I didn't like the way they cheered against our guy.
Yeah, and then it's funny in the semifinals, Gunner and Leroy both had Fountain Inn, and the Fountain Inn coach comes up and he's like, you know, I never want my kid to lose, but I do like watching your kids win. And I was like, yeah, I mean, it's kind of fun to have that kind of moment where it's like you see the heart, you see it, and you know, I'm talking to the Clinton coach, and I'm good buddies with a lot of these coaches. And the Clinton coach, if we're gonna lose, I'm glad to see y'all because it's a great match, and that's kind of the atmosphere we've seen in the last couple of days. Is that, you know, we got there Thursday night, little open mat, and there was like 6 schools there, and everyone's over here kind of picking each other's brain. Hey, what would you do here? What would you? And it's not like I gotta beat you. It's what can you help me, and how can I help you? So that's been awesome. Obviously, leading into a big day tomorrow, we're pretty pumped. Long day at Anderson. If you haven't been there, weigh-ins are at 8, and Parade of Champions is at 3:30 for those guys. So find a good spot to nap.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, kind of lay low, keep the nerves down, and keep some energy reserved. But yeah, what do you tell them going in? They did their work today. They got themselves a ticket to the state finals. You know, what's your advice as a coach?
You know, there's 2 philosophies that I have with it. First of all, you got to be proud of where you're at. You know, you can't oversight that you're a state finalist. I mean, that's the biggest thing. You've met your goal. You know, as any young wrestler says, I want to be in the state finals. The second thing you say is I want to win it. And so that's the thing is, you know, be proud of where you're at, but don't be content. You know, there's a lot of kids, a lot of wrestlers out there that can say, I left a little bit on the tank. I left a little bit on the mat. And don't be that guy, especially all of them are seniors. This is it. You know, and like they go wrestle in college. This truly is
right. You want to win your last one. I mean, that's
and write your own story. And that's kind of what I tell these guys. You know, as coaches, we're here to coach you to win it, but it's you getting out there to wrestle and you write your story, and we'll tell the story from years to come, whether it's the state finals or not. But how do you want to leave your legacy on that mat? And if we do it tomorrow, which is what our goal is, if we can get 3, it's only the second time in Creek history that we've had 3 or more guys win it. So, and like I told all of them, you know, we got Legree's got to win 1 to become an all-state wrestler. That'd be 4 all-state wrestlers, which is huge. But, you know, how do you want to end it at the end of it all? Do you want to go out as a winner, or, you know, and it's not that you're a loser because you're a state final. Yeah. It's do you want to go out? What way do you want to go out? You want to go out swinging? You want to go out
hand up, or
and it's hard. You know, I've been to this tournament now for 12 years, and you know, there's heartbreaks, there's loss, and the biggest thing is don't have heartbreak because you didn't give it all. Have heartbreak because you just didn't have it, and that's kind of where we were at.
No regret.
Yeah, no regrets. You know, we got to get after it. So it's exciting. It's a fun atmosphere, and I tell the guys, live in the moment. But once you walk in there, it's another wrestling match. You know. You've got the text, the calls, you know, we're in the car on the way back to the hotel and everyone's getting phone calls and FaceTimes. And, you know, it's all right. Well, starting tomorrow, though, they're not in your corner. We got to get ready to wrestle. We got to get after it. It's obviously a different mentality when you weigh in at 8 and you don't wrestle till 5. So you got to find
what's on.
Yeah. You got to warm up throughout the day. You got to eat right. You got to mentally prepare. It's exciting. And I'm pumped for the guys. They've earned it. So I really just want them to go get exactly what they deserve.
Yeah. And then you got to go out there and do what you do, you know, like just go wrestle like you've been wrestling. It's another wrestling match, you know?
Yeah.
You want to give it your all, but I think sometimes guys,
it's the nerves that gets you, but you got to remember, it's just another game, another match,
Yeah.
another match.
Yeah, sometimes I think kids try to do too much because the stage is bigger and get like kind of outside of themselves.
Yeah.
And so I think that's important too. Just, hey, do what you do and do it fast and hard.
Oh, I told that to Elmer tonight before his match. I said, hey, nothing changes, wrestle your match.
Yeah.
You know, you do a little bit of tweaking, you know, if this guy's got a weird sweep or a weird thing, but for the most part, what you've done has got you to the state tournament so far. And so, you know, it's funny, we scout and I tell them, you wrestle, we scout. I'll tell you what to look for. I'll tell you what to do, but we're not changing. If you're a high C guy, guess what? You're probably going to hit a high C in the finals.
Yeah.
You know, you don't see a lot of kids learn a new move for the state tournament. And the ones that do usually don't make it, you know, like it's the funny thing about middle school kids where they watch a video the night before and they try something. Yeah. As a high schooler, I tell them, don't watch videos. You know,
the YouTubers.
It kills us. And like Leroy today, we were laughing with him because he's like, man, I hit that move. I saw Elmer hit it. And, you know, and I was like,
Elmer's 126 pounds, son.
And I laughed. I said, well, you saw Elmer hit it because we practice it. You know, it's like nothing changes. It's still just wrestling. It's still getting after it, competing for it. And it's just, cutting loose and knowing that the cool part about the state finals, you know, that's it.
Yeah.
No more match afterwards.
Save it for energy, because this is the last one.
There's
you put all your focus into this one opponent, the one guy you're going up against, and you got one goal, just to beat him. And that's what makes it fun, because it's the legacy you leave behind. That, as you said, that last one, and you want to come out on top. So it can be a nervy experience for some, but you know, there are some athletes who embrace that kind of thing, don't they?
And you can see it. I mean, there's seniors that are nervous, and there's some that love the moment. I mean, it's cool watching. I've coached for a couple different programs. I got to watch one of my old Dorman boys. He's going to be in the finals tomorrow, and very different feel. I mean, from this kid's name is Owen and Gunner, who've been wrestling since 4 or 5 years old. You know, it's another match, but it's still exciting. Like, I got to see him get pumped. I haven't seen a kid, you know, get excited. Like, Gunner smiled today during a match. I haven't seen that in a while. Like, it's back to being fun. It's like, this is why I've done what I've done. You know, I tell kids all the time, wrestling's not fun. It's not a fun sport. The only fun part is knowing that you gave it all and you win. Like, losing's awful. We laugh about it in the car. You know, you've cut the weight, you've wrestled hard, you've trained, and then you lose. Like, that's awful. But when you get to the state tournament, there is no losing. You're not a loser. You're already a champion. You're at the state tournament. There's, you know, only top 8 in the state can say I'm a state placer.
Yeah. Yeah, that's it. I mean, you go 0-2, so what? You were in the top 8.
And there's
you're still in the top 8.
Yeah, you can say that you're a top 8 in the state when your senior year. I mean, that's pretty impressive no matter where you're at.
I mean, in most states, that gets you a medal.
Yeah,
like,
well, not
really.
except we don't do participation trophies here in South Carolina.
Yeah, no, I mean, in most states, though, like they take at least 16 in the top 8 place. Or at least the top 6, but we just aren't quite there yet. But I think we'll get there in due time. I think our state tournament will expand before.
Yeah, it looks like the proposal right now is 16 next year, moving it to Florence. So it'd be top 8 in the lower, top 8 in the upper. You know, any way to make our tournament tougher and to really highlight these kids, because, like I said, it's a tough sport, and I don't think, you know, maybe I'm biased.
You don't make that top 8.
Yeah, I like the idea of top 16 to state. I've always liked it. I think it's time.
Yeah, I'm biased, and I think there's not enough love for the sport, but I'm sure every coach will say that about their sport. But any way that we can get more people in the building, more people supporting our youth programs. You know, basketball today was funny. I saw Burns High School posted a thing that the baseball team had a game, and they asked them to postpone it 30 minutes so they could watch their basketball team who's in the upper state. Like, that's what we need more of in the state.
Yeah.
We need the more camaraderie between the sports, because it's hard, you know. A lot of teams don't get to watch, even at like Battery Creek.
Yeah, with the crossover,
sometimes the basketball team gets to come to a wrestling match.
Yeah, just all the spring sports. You have like soccer, baseball, softball, and it's just hard to really watch them, because either you're playing or you're practicing. Even these crossover, as I previously mentioned, it's just like you got these spring sports. Find a way to bring them over. I mean, that's athletes backing athletes. I love. That's one of the things I love the most about you know, just what happens in this setting, in this environment, in this high school athletic setting.
Oh, it's awesome. Love
all
it.
About kids supporting kids.
Right on, man. Well, send our best to the rest of the Lowco contingent. Tell them to go load up on hardware tomorrow, and best of luck. Are you going to put on the suit and tie for the state final?
Actually, it's a little preview, but it's a little Ted Lasso. I got a little sweater action going on, a little button up in a sweater. That's you got to believe you'll win, and you got to dress good. It's hard to coach in a suit. I've done it last couple of years. It gets a little uncomfortable when you start yelling, and then you start getting the monkey suit rolling. It's hard to yell at a kid when the tie hits you. So we're gonna go a little something different this time. It's funny. I always laugh every year because coach show up and they're in the wrinkled old suits because they've been sitting in the car all day, and so we got something a little different. But I think the kids will enjoy it. So
mine like a goldfish. Like a goldfish.
one second at a time, maybe 10 seconds at a time. So.
Right on, man. Well, get some rest and coach them up tomorrow, and we hope to talk to you Sunday night on the grind about a bunch of state champs.
We'll be there. Appreciate you.
All right, take care, brother. Coach John Rutherford, Battery Creek Wrestling. Great day for them. Up and down day for the Lowco. I mean, we had a number who lost their first round match. And are going to have to fight back tomorrow, but all is not lost. And quite a few who got to the semis lost tough matches there. And so they have to win one more to get a medal, but they're still in good shape. So, but quite a few, the five state finalists as well.
Yeah, so that's good. It's a good feeling when you have that medal secure. And now it's just, going for the top spot and getting that gold medal.
Yeah, good stuff. Well, let's shout out some sponsors, and hopefully we'll have some friends joining us here shortly from Cross. They were expecting about 10:30. MVP sponsors of LowcoSports. Megan Jarrett is the official realtor of LowcoSports, and my wife. She's with Keller Williams of the Lowcountry, the new Anchor Home Group. She would love to help you find your place in the Lowco and put down an anchor in the best place. So call on Megan Jarrett for all your real estate needs. Homegrown Home Inspections is the official home inspector of LowcoSports. Jan Lucas and his team are the best in the business in the Lowco when it comes to making sure that you're making a great investment in the real estate market. And if you're building a new home, you definitely want their phased inspection to make sure that every step of the journey is handled in the right way and you're building a quality home. Homegrown Home Inspections. Mickelson Law Firm is the official real estate closing attorney of LowcoSports and our original sponsor since 2017. Ryan and Tiffany and their team can take care of all your legal needs over at Mickelson Law Firm. And Hospice Care of the Lowcountry is the official hospice care of LowcoSports and the only not-for-profit hospice care in Southern Beaufort County. And they are having the Yacht Hop on May 18th. Tickets are on sale now. They have sponsorships. Tickets are limited. It's a great event. Awesome food from just incredible chefs around the Lowcountry. You can get on the yachts and enjoy free beverages and just a fun time. Always a lot of stars out there too. Bryson Nimmer was there last year. That's Hospice Care of the Lowcountry, where it's not about dying, it's about living. Those are our MVP sponsors. And Wes, the big story of the day really is the Cross girls winning that championship. They were down. They were up, I think, 4 after the first quarter. They're down 1 at half. Curtis Baptist got hot from 3, went up by 4, and then PJ Benson hit a 3 right before the half to get them within 1. And then they were down after 3. I'm trying to remember how far they were down, but they were down like 8 points in the fourth quarter, 6 or 8. And it was outstanding. Kind of dire. And PJ hit a couple of 3s, and then Sydney Hollings hit a 3, and they took the lead.
I mean,
I don't think they gave it up.
What a script! What a script there. First game, first season program history, come from behind to win in the state championship. What just incredible! And you look at PJ being the spark, but that group of girls, you just look at how they grew together as players, and not being too big for the moment, because these last 2 games they were tested, and a lot of the games they played this year they ran through them. So to have that composure to come back and win a close game like that, win 2 close games in a row with a lot of pressure on the line.
Yeah.
With that first year, you have a chance to really create some big history here, and they did it. Just all the power, all the congratulations their way for what they were able to accomplish, and I'm just those are the moments that really define the history of sports in the Lowcountry. When you think about teams that went above and beyond, and it's hard. You look at the few football champions we have, football Beaufort in the high school league. I'm talking about high school. We have a bunch of SCISA championships, but There are just a few that stand out. And I feel like this cross girls title is really going to stand out among the rest. Obviously, it's a 1A SCISA, and you certainly don't have the size of teams you go up against. But winning any championship is hard in and of itself. And those last two games, I mean, they had to battle the heck off to get there and to win it. So, so much credit to those girls and the coaching staff, and hopefully we'll get some of those players and coaches on momentarily. But
we are efforting. But yeah, solid win for them. USCB baseball, tough one. Our boy JP was dealing, and then the wheels kind of came off for the Sand Sharks.
Yeah, that 6th inning, they were up 4-1, then back-to-back errors, a missed catch and a pop-up really derailed it. And then the second error by Sand Shark USB shortstop Phillips. So, excuse me, it compounds sometimes. And this is a baseball coach that you just gotta focus on that next play, and sometimes it's just a few of them that can really sway the momentum of a ball game, and that's exactly what I was able to witness and call, unfortunately. But when you leave the door open for a good team, that's what's going to happen. And give credit to what Shepherd was able to do, because they took advantage. Miles had a wicked double down the left field line to plate 2 more, and eventually give the lead to the Rams, where really it should have been 4-1, getting to the bottom of the 6th. And it's one of those situations the wheels come off. Fortunately, it's just a non-conference regular season game, so you learn from experiences like that as a team, especially for some of those younger players who are really getting into big time roles. But what an outing for Patterson. He was outstanding. He was perfect the first 3 innings. Really commanded his pitch as well, and he was just really on top of it. Got a bunch of first pitch strikes, got ahead in the count. Looked really poised, and that's got to be tough just morale-wise when you have a really good outing. It looked like you're going to put together a win when you're in the 6th there, and it just slips away. So tough there for Patterson, who really deserved to win, but a quality start to his name, and he's really grown and starting to really look the part as that Friday night guy early on in the year. So, and by the way, I don't know if you were there when it happened, but what a highlight reel catch from Julian Galassi in center field, diving play in left center on a fly ball in that direction, laying out to make the catch. Nice. That dude can play outfield. He can play center field better than most of his peers in Division II or in the Peach Belt Conference.
I saw him at the start. I like his bat too. I just like his. Yeah. I like his game. I saw him at the start of last year in like the intra-squad preseason and was like, whoa, I like that cat. He's really toolsy. He's really athletic, fast. And I hope they can get his back going this year. I think he had an injury coming into the season last year and was just he's
had a couple of injuries early in his career.
Banged up. Yeah. But he's got some the speed tool is loud. It's very loud, but they're doing okay right now. I mean, figuring some things out, but it seems like it's going to be a better season than last year. Certainly,
I definitely agree with that. Getting that win from Middle Georgia State on Tuesday was huge. Get back in the win column, and I just think this team has a lot more pieces. I think there's some guys that are more experienced in different spots, which is important. And I expect to, I don't think we could see, potentially as big of a year as, maybe could happen in the future with this program. But, it's all about taking steps in the right direction for a young team in the Peach Belt. And if they're able to finish middle of the pack and grind out some nice wins, that's all you hope for, because you're playing for a couple years down the road when you get the opportunity to compete in postseason. So it's a multi-year process, and you just got to continue to develop and, get as strong as you can at different positions around the field. And they got some good young pieces that I think are going to be, impactful. Devin Marlowe, who came in the second time in as many games. He only went 1 on Tuesday. We went 3, and he was very efficient. Didn't give up any runs through 3 innings. Struck out a pair, and he's become a nice guy that they've been able to turn to out of the bullpen. So keep an eye on him as well.
Yeah, he gave him a chance. He shut down that rally in the 7th and then
They had the timer on the
clean
play
innings in
tonight
the
as
8th and
well.
9th, and they had a chance to.
Yeah, Tyler, Kenny, John Leland got on. John Leland got plunked by one. And then just unfortunate circumstances after that, just weren't able to find the hits when they needed them. But yeah, Carson Phillips, that was the guy who went up at the plate, but he wasn't able to produce. So it's a tough way to see it to come up short there. But it took some weird things to lose that game, and that's something you can say like they executed. They played a good game. Things got weird, unfortunately, and that's what's happened sometimes in baseball. You just gotta the beauty is you get to play tomorrow. And that's what I said at the end of the broadcast. You get to do it again tomorrow.
That's right. That is the beauty of it. Is you just mine like a goldfish, just like Ted Lasso. You just flush that one, and you come back and play baseball again tomorrow, and you keep doing what you're doing, and it'll be fine. Trust the process. Speaking of trust the process, tough start for May River boys lacrosse tonight. They lost 15-2 to a really good Greenville team. I got a couple highlights, not much, but I think that I don't have color for tomorrow. No, none of them are available. So we'll be needing Cam. Cam will be on color tomorrow, I believe. But no, the May River, I saw a young team that's probably still missing some key guys that are on the wrestling team, I think maybe. I think there's 2 or 3 of them that play. They'll be fine, but they're having to do a lot of coaching right now. A lot of in-game coaching where they recognize that young guys need it. But this Greenville team was no easy task opening with them. They play good lacrosse up in that part of the state, and Greenville's always tough. But I did get 1 goal on video, so that was good. But I do think, having seen them, they're going to be a little bit down this year, and that kind of makes the area more competitive because they were up there last year. Hilton had played them tough, but they were clearly the best team. But I think there's going to be a little more parity at the top this year.
It's going to be, I expect some good matchups. I'm excited to see some, including the Bluffton Hilton next week, I believe. Hopefully May River will get out there a couple times because those rivalry matchups on the lacrosse field, both the guys and the girls side, but the guys especially always turn out well. Good crowds over there, and
I got whistle. I liked it. I thought it was a good pick. Here's a goal that I got. Boom.
Nice.
I'm always excited when I get a goal on camera because I'm not very good at filming lacrosse.
It's a fun sport to film. It's a lot of quick action.
It is. Plus, it goes to the other end for a while, so you can just kind of
That's the hard. Well, the hard part is like those sports like soccer and lacrosse, where you can easily shift play to the other end.
Yeah, and it goes fast when it does. When there's a change of possession, they get it in transition quick. Hoping to hear from some cross folks here shortly to talk about the state championship for the Stingrays. That was a nice shot right there. He whipped that thing. Goalie made some nice saves, though. I mean, they put 15 on him, but I'm telling you, he stops some point-blank shots. When I was there, just
that's always that fires the team up. I mean, when you're able to make a save close to the goal like that, and it just emanates the energy throughout the entire field, the bench. So having a good goalie is huge in the sport.
Oh yeah, no doubt. That's a scary job, man. Those balls come hard.
Yeah, you gotta be ready.
Look at that. Good hit.
And also part of it is kind of like you're quarterbacking in a sense. Like you have to make good passes. That's part of the job as well.
And I know one thing the coaches were harping on tonight from May River was just communicating better on offense and letting the guy with the ball know if you've got some space and so that he can take a look at you. And so that they're working on some stuff, but I think they're going to be pretty solid again by mid-season. Good coaching staff and good tradition over there, and they've definitely got some solid players back. I think they're just nursing along some other guys who are having to play bigger roles than they played in the past. So should be just fine. Our boy Misa also took a tough one tonight. They lost to Stratford. May River boys soccer lost 3-0 in the Charleston Soccer Showcase. I think that's a countable game, but I don't really know for sure. It's never been clear.
Yeah, like I said, I think the first contest starts next week, so technically they're preseason games, but
yeah,
I mean, for those players, that's every game. I mean, I don't think they can
play to win the game.
Yeah.
Oh, good old Herm Edwards. Varsity sponsors of LowcoSports. We have DDS Web Design, building, hosting, and maintaining websites for business and nonprofits that get results. So if you need to get found online so you can do more and think bigger, call on DDS Web Design at ddshhi.com. Parker Law Group serves legal needs across Colleton, Hampton, and Jasper counties. They've been doing that for years. Jumped on board with us this year to help us continue to expand our coverage into those counties and shine a light on more deserving teams and student athletes around the Lowco. So thanks to Parker Law Group. Reverence Wrestling Club, the official wrestling sponsor of LowcoSports and the presenting sponsor of the Lowco Grind. We'll have a new episode for you Sunday night, talking about all the state championship action up in Anderson. And Dr. Ambrose Cole, official chiropractor of LowcoSports over at Rooted Living Wellness. Got an appointment with him next week to get feeling right, mind, body, and spirit with Dr. Ambrose Cole at Rooted Living Wellness, varsity sponsors of LowcoSports. And still hoping to hear from the Cross folks. But tomorrow's going to be fun. We got a triple header at the Cove. We were bumming that we weren't going to get to see HHCA JP2, but now we do in the same building. We're going to be sitting in all day.
I mean, couldn't have worked out any perfectly. I mean, I didn't text it, but I was thinking, went through my mind last night. I was like, what have they doing at USCB? Like that I mean, it makes total sense. And I think it's a great venue locally to host big events like that. And, you know, especially looking towards the future when we could have an even bigger convention center building, you know, that could be awesome for multi-purpose events, especially high school sports. But what a great opportunity. And credit to USCB for getting on board with this and hosting this game. And, you know, I think it works hand in hand with both, although I'm not sure how the ticketing process will work because they're separate events.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Well, they'll definitely have to kick people out and run them back in. I don't know how much overlap there'll be in the crowd anyway, but there'll probably be a little bit. There'll probably be some. But I think there will be a new crowd coming in for that girls game at night, and that's going to be fun to see it played in there and to see, you know, just to see a state championship game played here locally.
I mean,
doesn't happen.
I think all the way back to football mid 2000s. I remember going to a
2007. I want to say something like that.
Has there been anything? I don't remember anything since I've been here, but.
The only other thing that I remember was Battery Creek clinched a softball state championship at home.
Right, but that's they have the championship series. They have those are home games always. There's one team hosts the first game and the other team hosts the second game.
Yeah, that's the only other time I can think of. I mean, I guess golf. You know, like May River won a golf at home, but that's not quite the same. But no, this will be cool. Basketball championship game in the Lowco. And since we're waiting on the Cross guys, we can bring in Marcus Walsh from WHHI to help us preview that. What's up, buddy?
What's up, gentlemen? How are we?
We are doing well. I know you are as excited as we are to have a state championship game played right here in the Lowco tomorrow. And you're planning on getting out to the Cove to check out HHCA, JP2. You got to see them both. You didn't get to see JP2 this season.
Did not.
You get to remedy that.
See JP2.
Yes. There you go. Hey, by the way, Marcus, you've been able to call a lot of games, but this time I will be on the call for Buford Zone alongside Javon Livingston.
Buford Zone picked up the stream. And
good for you. That's awesome.
On the call, so that's exciting.
That is awesome.
The headphones are all tangled up, buddy.
Yeah. The thing came out, so I can hear you perfectly. So I'm rolling with it. Didn't see JP2. I was really hoping that we could, but the schedule kind of worked out as it worked out. With Jeremy Pope, you know, certainly give him a lot of credit for, you know, managing everything with the schedule and whatnot. It was
now you get to make it something else. You get to see him. So that's cool.
That's right.
Yeah.
Really looking forward to that. This JP2 team is something special from everything that I've heard, and I've called games of theirs in the past, And Karen Floyd is about as good as it gets. And I say that about a lot of the coaches that we see, especially hyper locally with WHHI. She's about as good as it gets, just with the ability to get the most out of her players. Mahoney is just tremendous. And correct me if I'm wrong, guys, but the Termini family has had a couple of
Bella
come through, right?
Bella is solid, and Lily's really good now. So
and
they're a solid squad. They haven't been able to get over the hump against this HHCA team, but they get one more crack at it. So it should be fun.
Marks, you want to stay on? You want to stay on here while we talk to the champs?
Yeah, we got a state champion coach in our
absolutely.
midst.
Yeah,
let's get him in here, Coach Matthew Fisher Davis, champion coach from the Cross Stingrays. What's up, buddy? Congratulations.
Oh, appreciate it, man. Not much. Just getting back home.
Been quite a journey for you. You stumbled into your first head coaching gig, and then today you got to coach them in a state championship game. You also had a baby in the midst of this season, so it's been quite a season of blessings for you. But tell us a little bit about the girls today. I mean, I know you guys were down in the fourth quarter and had to dig deep, and I know you had to be proud of the effort down the stretch.
Oh yeah, for sure. It was definitely a situation that we haven't been in yet this season, being down in the fourth. But I mean, typically what happens is we kind of wear teams down, and I feel like Curtis Baptist got a little tight there in the fourth. Our girls just kept playing with confidence, and I don't think anybody ever thought we were going to lose that game, or none of the girls on the team or myself.
Yeah, that's the key factor. If they believe they're going to get it done.
Oh yeah,
That's where it all starts. But Coach, really proud, happy for you and this team. Cutting down the nets, I mean, no sweeter feeling than that in basketball. And you guys get to take part of that after getting the dub today. But, just reflect on this year and, first-year program winning it all in their first season. I mean, how often have we seen that? It's a rare achievement. So, just reflect on that and the pride that you've developed in these young ladies and what they did this winter.
I don't know. I think it was a long season. But I think that our girls stuck together. And that was the thing that made me the most proud, I guess you could say. I think they really bought into me. They really bought into each other. And even at a school like that, understanding that we were going to face internal battles and internal challenges, just trying to switch from pretty much a Montessori to trying to be more like the ideal of basketball that I see. So we had a couple internal battles, things we were going against, but I mean, at the end of the day, we persevered, and this was kind of just a cherry on top to everything.
Awesome stuff. And Coach Doc Archibald also joining us now as we watch you guys cut down the nets. And Coach, had to be fun to work alongside Fish this year. You guys kind of doing double duty together, coaching the boys and the girls. And you tell us a little bit about today and the emotions and just watching them pull it out and get to cut down the nets.
The emotion of it, yeah. No, it's just awesome. I'm just happy for the girls. They put a lot of work in through the kind of basketball trainings we did in the morning, in the off season in the fall, and then with preseason conditioning that I led for both boys and the girls in October. Right, like they've been working for this for a long time, and they've all come a long way. Right, and we felt like, especially on this team, we didn't really have a weak link, and that spoke a lot to the work that the girls have put in throughout the entire year.
And, it all comes together when you look at what I alluded to earlier is that, I mean, winning close games in a season where you were rolling past everybody, but find a way to come back. I mean, how often were you trailing the fourth quarter this year and down multiple possessions? So, I mean, just that stems from the extra work that you put in and the mental attitude of this team. So, just describe how they dug deep to get this win in a situation that they haven't really been in much this year, is trailing late in the ballgame.
I think they just responded to adversity, man. It helps when you got a stud at that point guard position. I think PJ ended up with 9, maybe 11 in the fourth.
I think she had 11 in the fourth. Yeah, she kind of took over.
Sydney Hollins hit a big corner 3 for us.
3. Yeah.
So yeah, man, they just stepped up, made big shots. I think that at the same time, having some girls who aren't fully into basketball as far as play year round, I think that the ignorance was kind of bliss as far as not necessarily understanding the moment or what's really going on. They were just out there hooping. And the biggest thing was that they were playing for one another. And I know that they weren't going to let each other down. So I was telling Doc, like, how I see it is the players win the game, man. It was on me not to mess it up.
Yep.
And they went out there. I didn't score one bucket, so they ran out there and they handled their business, and I couldn't be more proud of them.
That's right. And that one girl for Curtis Baptist was going Steph Curry on y'all. I mean,
man, that's what we get too, man. Because some of our girls saw her on film and didn't think much of it, and that's exactly what we get. It's exactly what we
by
get.
its cover.
She was balling.
Nah, she was, man. She was. But again, Sydney Hollins, man, number 11 for them.
Yeah.
Macy Butler, I think. She locked her up, man. She held her 5 points. She kept her off the glass, which we knew if she didn't get off, they weren't going to beat us. So
they had a good little 8th grader too.
Yeah, they did. They did.
Two of them. Twins.
They're twins, yeah. But yeah, one on Mia Price, I think's her name.
Yeah, it's the Price sisters. I don't know what the first.
Yeah. She was solid too, but I mean, she had a couple open threes, but I don't know, man. For the most part, we held her in check too. I was just more so concerned about 11. I didn't think the little Price kid. I didn't think she could beat us. 11 could, but we shut her down. So great job to the scouting report.
A big part of our game plan was shutting down 11. So we were really proud of our girls for executing
game plan.
right?
Well executed. That's what it
Absolutely.
takes. No, PJ just an absolute dog in the 4th quarter. I mean, she kicked it into a different gear. It was fun to watch.
Yeah, she did, man. She did. Bank 3, we take those around here. Call them or not, we take those. Yeah, and then she knocked down clutch free throws at the end of the game, which her and Genesis Wilson did last game against Cambridge.
Yeah. That's what you love to see as a coach is, seeing them knock down the foul shots and having that the nerves of steel to do it, and that's what it takes. You got to have that belief in yourself, and the girls buy into each other. That's what defines and creates champions. And we saw that with you guys several times throughout the playoff. Just believing when the chips were down. So congratulations to both of you, and just
absolutely.
As a coach to your program, I talked to Coach Davis and Doc. You've been with both teams, so what's it been like this year, and what will be the moments that will resonate and stick with you about being a part of this process, and what are you most looking forward to in the future for this cross program?
Right. So, I mean, I want to just clarify that, I help him with the girls and he helps me with the boys. It goes both ways. So both of us are very involved both ways. But yeah, what we're trying to build towards the future is having a level of expectation. And this, there's a level, and there's a moment from the game that I'm going to bring up that kind of speaks to PJ specifically, is when she banked in that 3, as Coach Fish was talking about. She was not happy with herself because she did not mean to do it, right?
Yeah.
And yeah, it was a huge shot. If you watch it, it was a very important shot, and we needed it, and we'll take it every day of the week. But when she shot it, it wasn't up to her expectation because she made it in a way that she didn't want to, right? And so for us, it's trying to get just because it worked once, just because it worked twice, doesn't mean that's the way we do things. And trying to hold, kids to a higher standard. And now they're starting to hold themselves to the higher standard. Yeah. Because, she was like, I'm not okay with
little
that.
things become big things.
She is a huge 3 in the 4th quarter of the state championship game, and she's not celebrating. She's upset with herself, right? And if you get caught up in the process and those little things, that's the biggest thing we're trying to do on both sides. And the kids turn the corner in like mid-January, I think, on both sides.
Yeah, somewhere around there.
The girls turned a little bit before the guys, and that's why I think probably why they had more success. But now these kids once they start holding themselves and others accountable, it's going to be a big thing. And so the accountability culture is really what we're trying to get after on both sides.
Awesome
But
stuff.
little things, right?
Yeah, little things become big things.
Has to be.
Real quick when the chips are down. But no, congrats, fellas. Job well done. And you guys going to be over in the Cove tomorrow night for the SCISA 3A girls?
I don't know if I'll
HHCA
be.
JP2,
I
right?
want to get out there. I gotta have a conversation with my wife, because I had to coach the middle
Yeah.
school boys this year too. So I've been kind of
You
I've
used
been
up a
really been
lot
on
of
it.
capital these last couple of months.
Yeah,
I
and with the
did. I
little
did.
baby.
I did. So we'll see.
That
I do
honeydew
want to
list
get
is
out there though.
long, brother.
Yeah, I
That
do want to
honeydew
get out
list
there.
is long.
We'll see how it goes. But yeah, I'm looking
Well, we
forward
hope
to
to see
next
you
year.
guys. Right on, man. Well, we hope to see you guys real soon. Enjoy the victory, and congratulations on a job well done. And we'll talk to you real soon.
Congrats,
I
fellas.
appreciate it. Thank you.
Thanks, fellas.
Yep.
Doc Archibald and Matthew Fisher Davis from Cross Basketball. The girls bringing home a state title today. Good stuff. Let's shout out a few more sponsors, and then we'll wrap this thing up and call it a night. The Court Lifestyle Pros are in the Lowco Booster Club. Daniel and Debbie Court are Lowco natives who want to help bring you home to Hilton Head Island through Charter One Realty. So call on the Court Lifestyle Pros. Revive Rehab, women's health and pelvic floor physical therapy right here in Bluffton. Great place for women after they have babies, particularly if you have a friend who's having a baby shower or a baby sprinkle coming up. A gift certificate to Revive Rehab would be a great gift. Eagle Creations, they offer promotional items and custom apparel as well as custom gift baskets. They have a great showroom over on Argent Boulevard. Go see Bill and Mandy at Eagle Creations. Jay's Barbershop is the place to be in Ridgeland, whether you need a haircut or not. Great place to hang out for some great conversation, and there's all kinds of good food in downtown Ridgeland. So go by and say hi to Jay and the gang. And Barefoot Floor Care of the Lowcountry, Chris Odom and his team will get your floors so clean your feet will thank you. And if you're building a new home and you want to get that floor really clean before you move your furniture in, they can help you out with that too. They can do all kinds of stuff. Prime IV Hydration and Wellness. Go see Max and the team over in Belfair Town Village if you need to get juiced up with all your vitamins and minerals. So, fellas, that's all that went on today in the Loco. But tomorrow, as we mentioned, we've got a full slate, all kinds of stuff going on. But namely a lot of basketball. We've got the Cove will be the place to be if you want to watch the most possible basketball. You got Flagler USCB women at 1:30, men at 3:30, and then HHCA JP2 girls at 7 for the state championship. But also Hilton Head Prep taking on Christian Academy of Myrtle Beach at 5 p.m. in Sumter. 3A championship, going for 2 in a row for the Dolphins. And Hampton County taking on Oceanside Collegiate at 8 o'clock in the High School League 2A boys lower state final up in Florence. Also got USCB baseball and softball, Hilton Head girls lacrosse, a couple boys lacrosse matchups, and a little bit of baseball and wrestling. We got all those state finals in wrestling.
I was wondering, guys, about your thoughts, especially on that Hilton Head Prep matchup with Christian Academy out of Myrtle Beach. I mean, I saw Prep, obviously, in the first matchups that we had with WHHI against HHCA back on January the 12th. I was taking a look a little bit at this Christian Academy team out of Myrtle Beach, and they look pretty good as well, with a bunch of guys that can do a multiple plethora of things on all sides of the basketball. Just your thoughts on that matchup.
I think they're tough. Yeah, go ahead, Wes.
Yeah, I'm excited to see how that one finishes, because that team is, that's a group that Hilton Head Prep, rarely sees that level. They probably saw it in that Seahawk Holly Classic back in Christmas time, where they played that really good team from either Washington, D.C. or somewhere around there that ended up winning that tournament in the first round. That was a really solid defensive group, but this team has a lot of different versatile pieces from what I'm hearing, and so they're going to have to be prepared. And if Myrtle Beach Christian's able to hit some shots, it's going to be game on and get a lot of pressure for what Hilton Head Prep will be able to do to respond. So, I think it's a matter of playing the way they like to play, getting to their offense, run their offense well, and as long as they're able to execute that and minimize the mistakes, because that's a Myrtle Beach Christian that's going to love to capitalize on if Hilton Head Prep's able to kind of stray away from what they do well. So, and this is something that we've seen these entire last few months. It's just the seamless execution of Hilton Head Prep's motion attack and getting that inside out game working with Britt Shee over their shooters like Barron and company and Ben Fries. He's just an animal, the way he competes, the way he rebounds. But It's going to come down to, can they make enough shots and can they find good looks close to the hoop? And then, can you find that efficient play from Richie and keeping out of foul trouble? So, that Prep, I think they're going to be slight favorites, but I do think Myrtle Beach Christian is going to be the toughest team they've faced in a while. And it's certainly not going to be a walkover for them. They're going to have to really get to their game and execute well. So that's going to be a fun one. I wish I was able to see it, but
it's
really
gonna be a good
some good ones all the way around. I mean, I think I was able to Christian's heavier favorites against JP2, but that's another one that there's a way that the Golden Warriors can hang in that one. So.
Oh, sure. Yeah,
definitely.
They'd have to play an excellent game, and Hilton Head Christian have to be a little off their game, and they'd have to execute exceptionally well and all those things. But 100% it could happen. I mean, it was a 14-point game when they played at Christian, so that's not insurmountable. Now they have a hard time guarding that backcourt. They have a tough time staying in front of Devin and Maya. So they're going to have a game plan for when they get behind them. But it's winnable. But Myrtle Beach Christian, I mean, I put a lot of stock in the schedule and like who are the losses to, and they just don't have head scratching losses. I mean, St. John's Christian, probably a head scratcher, but that was in November. Most of their losses are to Conway and Myrtle Beach and North Charleston and St. James and Socastee, like 4A and 5A and Power 3As. And so, I think they've been who said you're a boss? I bet it's Ashton McNair. She loves us. But I think it's a team that's been tested. So I don't think Prep is going to really, blow them out of the water or anything like that. But the thing with Prep is it's more about them than it's about you. If they do what they do, it's pretty hard to beat them.
Yeah, absolutely.
They take care of business. But I do think Myrtle Beach Christian, more than most teams, has the pieces to be able to kind of force them out of their game and make them get out and run a little bit and not just play on the half court at both ends. And, if somebody knows how to attack their defense, then they can really change the complexion of the game. Because so many teams just wear themselves out running around on offense trying to get a shot. And there's no shot clock. So they'll run the offense for a minute and a half and then get it stolen away in a basket at the other end.
Right.
And so, I think this team will be able to play with them a little bit more than some can. But you almost have to be ahead of them going into the fourth to have a chance, because they're going to beat you in the fourth quarter. Like they're just going to. You're going to be worn down, and they're going to get some easy buckets. So that's a really interesting game to me. I think I would take Prep, but I think it's going to be a good battle. I think that's going to be a good game. Probably the best of the bunch.
In terms of how close it can be, I think that one. I mean, I do think Oceanside.
Although Hampton Oceanside could be epic.
Oh, for sure.
If Hampton stays in that game will be epic.
Yes.
Yeah. Because if they're in it going to the fourth, they got a real shot. Like they just can't let it get away from them early. But that's a tough matchup.
Yeah, that Oceanside and the height from what I'm seeing with that group and the skill on that team, that's a legit squad. So Hampton, that underdog role, I mean, that's what you got to do. You got to embrace, having that chip on your shoulder and, seeing what happened a couple months ago back in Charleston where they played that game on a whatever night it was, right after Thanksgiving, Friday night.
Yeah, Friday after Thanksgiving.
Yeah, the heartbreak of that.
By the way, Hampton and Oceanside, neither one has lost in 2024.
Wow.
Right. They were swept, or they lost all three in the Bobcat Classic.
Yeah.
In that tournament right before New Year's, but they're all close games. After that, they haven't lost since.
Wow.
The only head scratcher for me for Oceanside is that loss to Lucy Beckham, which is a good team, but like Hampton's a better team, I think. So I feel like if Lucy Beckham can beat them, even in December, then Hampton can beat them. Right. That doesn't mean they're going to beat them, but it's a winnable game. I mean, but what they did to Marion,
they're a different team now than they were in December, right?
What Oceanside did to Marion the other night was unreal. They just hammered a really good Marion team. So, it's going to be a battle. I hope they can weather the storm, the nerves and the initial flurry.
Yeah,
and
you can get past that first, survive that initial punch, stay ahead into the third, the fourth quarter. Kind of like their chances if they can survive that initial wave. Yep.
they're an exceptional team, and emphasis on team. Like
and
there's a
then
real
on top of
true
that, you said focus on team. You shared a video with me about Ian leading the pep rally or the walk today or something like that.
Yeah, it's not a great quality video, but it is an exceptional video. Because Ian was out there. Coach Hannah sent it to me. Ian was out there leading the band in the pep rally. Let me see if I can get it pulled up here. It's a good one. There we go. Not great quality, but still worth it. Let me turn the volume way down because it's loud. There's Ian.
Oh man, love it.
Leading the band.
See those drums rolling.
There we go. There we go. Yeah. Ian knows how to command a crowd now.
Oh man,
that's great.
He's so awesome. Got to meet his mom the other night. She's lovely. She's wonderful, wonderful people. And I got to see another young man, special needs, who I got to write about years ago at the Packet today. I was in Parker's and I saw a young man named Sean Scott, who was, this dude's so in his element, no doubt. Sean Scott was a young man who went to Bluffton High School, and he got to helping out the football team as a manager and developed a great relationship with Coach Jeremy West, who was the second head coach at Bluffton High School back in the day. And I got to write a story about, how it really brought him out of his shell, and he was doing better in school and all those things. And I heard his voice in Parker's today, and my head snapped around. I must have written that story in, 2008, 2009, something like that, 15 years ago at least. But my head snapped around, and I was like, "Is your name Sean?" And he said, "Yeah." And I was like, "I knew that was you." And we had a cool moment. So, it was
that's
pretty
cool. I got to know Chip Mullins when he was at Hilton Head High. And, he had his heroics in the football field and wherever else.
The wrestling mat. He was the best when he wrestled. You'd get out in front of the crowd, hype them up. They'd be going crazy.
You'd get command that crowd quickly.
Oh, yeah. And then he'd get a pin, and they'd just go absolutely bananas. Absolutely bananas. I also wrote about that once and talked with one of the young men who wrestled against him, just about the idea of, you were asked to – your assignment was go out there and let this guy beat you and fire up the crowd. And was there any hesitation about that? And the kid was like, "No way, man. That was the most fun match I ever wrestled in my life. The crowd's never been that excited for a match. That was incredible." So I love those opportunities to be inclusive in sports, and it's so beautiful. It's really what it's all about. And it just strips away, any anger or frustration that you're feeling about the referees or how the game went or your mistakes or whatever. None of that matters. Not really. Not at the end of the day.
It's so much more than that, even, JJ. I mean, you get to learn about people. I was in a very similar situation. I'm sure I told you this. I probably told you this, Wes, as well. I was the trainer for our high school basketball team for 2 years when I was in high school at Perry High School in Massillon, Ohio. And that happened to come about based off the fact that I knew the head coach and had a good rapport with him, and obviously had a good rapport with the administration at Perry, and they just had an opening, and they asked me if I would like to be involved. And it was really my junior year, my senior year, but it kind of started that spring semester of my sophomore year. And it was 2.5 just tremendous years being out on the road, not on the road, because we didn't go to many. I guess we did go to road games, but
you got on the bus.
We were doing a whole bunch of stuff. Certainly home and road games. But being involved, and then seeing these games from the other side of it now, working in the media, it brings all of that back to really that having that start all those years ago. And it was a blast, and it's continuing to obviously be a blast, and see what's really inside all of these kids and all of these atmospheres. It's awesome. Tomorrow's going to be
It's
fun.
just amazing. You never know what's going to happen either. I mean,
Yeah.
that's the beauty of it is you never know what's going to happen.
Just everything's so varied. Yeah, you get, the seasons change. You got football in the fall, volleyball, etc. Then you got a whole new cast of characters in the winter, and then same over to the spring.
Right. I'm tired of being in the gym. I'm ready to go outside. Guess what? It's time to go outside. We get to go outside now. So
as long as it doesn't rain.
It's a perfect profession for us ADHD folk, that's for sure.
Like the good old George Carlin skit. I get to go outside.
Actually, the best part about the spring is that when it does rain, you get the day off.
Right.
You can't do
That's
nothing.
a good point. That's right. That's right.
It's the only season where that might happen because they'll play football in the rain. And, basketball and wrestling, they're not going to be impacted by it. But in the spring, just when you're sucking wind and you just think you can't make it through another day, you see that rain on the forecast, makes everything right for one day. But well, hey fellas, let's bring this thing in for a landing. We've got big games on tap tomorrow. Looking forward to being in the Cove with you guys. Any parting thoughts before we call it a night?
I'm just really looking. Go ahead, Wes.
Just a great culmination of this basketball season to have a state championship game in the Lowco, while we get to see these USCB teams for the last time at home this year, because what an experience that we've talked about this high school basketball team, but how special it's been to have that interplay within, everything else that we've been covering, but, to see history in the Lowco as well with this first season and all the memories that have been made with it, and just the excitement of the guys team, what Sharon Versup's now doing with the women's team. It's been really special just to see how both these teams have taken involved just in 1 year and just a few months of basketball, and to see the excitement that's generated within the community, because it's been a phenomenal first year over there for those two teams as well.
It's been really fun. Yeah, it's really exceeded my expectations as far as the overall whole package goes. I mean, it's been a blast. It's been so much fun.
Having seen USCB myself too, that's a fun ticket to get out there and see the women and the men. I still have said, and I've talked to a couple people about it, within the last couple of days, that guys team, I haven't seen anything quite like that on a basketball floor, possibly ever. I mean, that reminded me of when I was calling college hockey back in the day. I mean, it is so much fun.
They had a couple key losses during the season that kind of took.
Speaking of hockey, that's been when they're able to run all these different groups out there. Unfortunately, injuries got to them.
Yeah, that's what I was getting at. They aren't quite at full strength now, and it hasn't been quite the same. But they've still been right there. I mean, they've had so many tight losses, so many overtime games. Got buzzer beaten the other night by a banked in 3. It's like they've been a little bit snake bitten here the second half of the season.
Yeah, they lost a lot of close, and they almost beat Aiken twice. They almost beat North Georgia. They got the Columbus State one was big. They got that one hurt overtime.
That was Georgia State was the one I was thinking of. That was the one where they had a big lead and let it slip away. But no, it's been super fun, and you can see now, whereas before I was just kind of like, oh yeah, maybe this will be fun someday. It's already fun, and you can see where it's going to be really good, like really fast. You think?
Yep.
We'll see. I mean, it's going to be great, even if it's a baby step up from here for a couple of years. They're going to be competing night in and night out in the Peach Belt, and it's good times. I mean, the middle of the pack is quality squads, and it's just great to have it here. I think it's super important for our kids to be able to see it and see what that looks like, especially the guys. You go out and watch that guys team, and you think you're a D1 prospect, and you watch that game and you go, oh, okay. You get a little dose of reality. Like, these are grown men who can really play the game playing at the D2 level. And I think it just provides some perspective that has been difficult for some to access because they haven't been able to see it right here. You can watch it on TV. It's not the same. You go watch those guys play in person from court level, and it's unreal what some of those guys can do. Karan Anderson, there's plenty of 6'4" guys. There's not very many who can get above the rim like he can.
Yeah.
Like, I mean,
And
there's
then
some
what does
real
season Overstreet's have? He's,
Overstreet's
I
a
mean,
monster.
I was
in the
just going to
conference
mention him.
Yeah,
And
absolutely.
he had a crazy game against the University of North Florida that I called back in December. I was so
the new
impressed
college
with
of Florida.
the new college of
College of
Florida.
Florida, yeah.
That's
the
it.
mighty Banyans.
The Banyans, that's right. I was
It's a very
so impressed
controversial
with him that
school,
night.
actually.
Okay.
I just heard a podcast about it the other day. It's very interesting. Pablo Torre finds out. If you want to learn more about New College of Florida, it's very interesting what's happening there. Nonetheless,
take a listen.
Yeah, it's wild. Not what you think, I guarantee you that. But anyway, fellas, looking forward to seeing you guys out at the Cove tomorrow.
Indeed.
New College. No, it's NEW. That's our mystery commenter tonight is Kevin Libby, by the way. I had to go on Facebook and figure it out. It was driving me crazy. But
I'll see him tomorrow. We're recording.
Right on. Yeah, recording a new episode of the Marcus Walsh Show, which we'll be distributing on the Lowco Media Network. So that's exciting stuff. What are you guys talking about tomorrow?
We'll definitely touch on the hoops that are going to be going on tomorrow for sure. Going to be getting ready for college basketball. We're just a couple of weeks away from March Madness. That's going to be big. We're going to be looking a little bit towards the offseason in terms of what's going on heading into the draft with the NFL. Spring training. Games are already underway. A couple of games on ESPN. So we're going to be talking about that and a whole lot more.
Sweet.
Much more on a new episode of the Marcus Walsh Show.
That's right.
All right, buddy. Well, sounds good. We'll look forward to hearing that and getting it out on the Lowco Media Network. So look out for that.
Great.
And we will come on tomorrow night. We're aiming for 10. We'll see what time things wrap up and when we get home. But aiming for 10 tomorrow for a special Lowco Hoops Report. We will call that one a Hoops Report because we got a bunch of huge basketball games on tap. And then we'll be back Sunday night for Sandtrack Rewind and the Lowco Grind presented by Reverence Wrestling Club. And then back around Monday for another Lowdown. So we'll be here every night for you with local sports talk and news and interviews with the people making the news. Thanks so much for joining us tonight. Thanks to Matthew Fisher-Davis and Doc Archibald, the coaches from Cross Schools. Congrats on the girls' state championship and SCISA 1A. Thanks to John Rutherford from Battery Creek Wrestling for jumping on and giving us a report from Anderson. Hope to see lots of gold coming home into the Lowco tomorrow and silver and bronze and all the other medals. And we will see you tomorrow night. For Marcus Walsh and Wes Kerr, I'm Justin Jarrett. Till next time, go Lowco.
The Lowco Sports Lowdown podcast is a production of Lowco Media LLC and LowcoSports.com, an independent media outlet providing grassroots local sports coverage in the South Carolina Lowcountry. We are sustained by community support from sponsors and patrons like you. Get in the game with a monthly pledge of $1 or more at patreon.com/LowcoSports to keep us going and growing. Go